In Star Wars Legends during the Galactic Civil War, the Galactic Empire began to identify members of the rebel insurgent group known as the Alliance to Restore the Republic. This video looks at the high-value targets of the Rebel Alliance in which the Empire wanted to either arrest, capture or terminate. However, the roots of the eventual rebellion against the Empire initially began during the Clone Wars when a group of extremely concerned senators, calling themselves the Delegation of 2000, came together. This group petitioned against Supreme Chancellor Palpatine's continued usage of emergency powers, even as the Clone Wars were nearing their end. Palpatine took exception to their petitioning and issued arrest warrants for a portion of the senators for their defiance. Palpatine, of course, manufactured the Jedi betrayal narrative and took the opportunity to reorganize the Republic into the First Galactic Empire, thus proclaiming himself Emperor. Over a 17-year period of Emperor Palpatine's reign, pockets of resistance had sprung up around the galaxy, but however were not in any coordinated movement to challenge the imperial might of the Galactic Empire. Indeed, guerrilla warfare operations were situated sparsely upon isolated systems, and still remained simply a hindrance to local imperial governors, without posing a serious threat to the Empire's grip on the galaxy. To this point, the Star Wars story remains largely the same. However, Disney canon begins to tell the beginnings of the rebellion somewhat differently to Legends, from around 5 BBY. The Star Wars Rebels, Andor and Rogue One Disney productions leading up to the Star Wars production A New Hope, in which the Battle of Yavin takes place, brings in new rebel and imperial characters to show how the rebellion began and how the Galactic Civil War ignited. But back to the Legend story, Mon Mothma, who became a top defiant target, had fled Coruscant in 3 BBY after Emperor Palpatine had ordered for her arrest due to her persistent defiance against his imperial rule. She eventually signed the Corellian Treaty alongside Bail Organa, Garm Bel Iblis and others in order to form the Alliance to Restore the Republic. During the years of the Galactic Civil War, the Empire wanted Mon Mothma captured in order for the Imperial Security Bureau to interrogate her for vital information to crush the Alliance. Around 2 BBY, the Empire had slowly begun to realise several rebellious groups had unified to create a movement known to them as the Rebel Alliance. Imperial intelligence had collected relevant information reported to them of individuals who were identified as part of the Rebel Alliance leadership. Mon Mothma was an obvious target, but others, due to the nature of their covert standing within the galaxy, remained more difficult to target. Eventually, a wanted list was assembled and reported to authorised agents of the Bounty Hunters Guild. Required to be terminated by the Empire, General Airen Cracken was a prime target. In the years leading up to 2 BBY, Kraken previously led a guerrilla force on the mid-rim planet of Contrum. He was relatively successful against Imperial forces in the area and eventually made the decision to join the Rebel Alliance. After originally acting as an intelligence operative for the Alliance, later Kraken was appointed as a general and chief of intelligence. He successfully created a privateers and smugglers network, as well as operating a data analysis and comms centre, which answered to the Alliance's high command. Kraken's intelligence and insight activities were crucial to undermining the Empire's new order, and thus Imperial intelligence were determined to eliminate him. Gial Ackbar was previously an Imperial interpreter and valet to Grand Moff Tarkin, where Akbar learned about the Empire's project to build the first Death Star. He was freed from the Empire when a rebel mission to assassinate Moff Tarkin failed, and helped him escape. Joining the Rebel Alliance, Akbar's knowledge of Imperial tactics was crucial to securing the Alliance's first small victory at the Battle of Tucana. Akbar was another individual the Empire wanted to arrest. Garm Bel Iblis, like Mon Mothma, had also been an outspoken senator against Palpatine's rise to power and Imperial rule. After his Corellian family were murdered by Imperial agents, Bel Iblis fled to create his own resistance movement, but eventually reached out to other insurgent groups to become a founder member of the Alliance to Restore the Republic. The Empire viewed Garm Bel Iblis as a hugely important and skilled individual to the rebels' command structure and wanted him to be terminated. Founded in the same year as the Galactic Empire, Bail Organa created the Alderaan Resistance, which was an early resistance movement against Palpatine's Imperial rule. As the Senator of Alderaan, he had tried very carefully within the Imperial Senate in order to prevent unwanted attention from Imperial authorities. He instead opted to pose the illusion of a loyal senator, which placed him in a position to access information which was vital to the rebellion. Bail Organa too became one of the founding members of the Alliance to Restore the Republic at the signing of the Corellian Treaty, until his death upon the destruction of Alderaan in 0 BBY. The former senator was under observation, and his arrest by the Empire was a real possibility. Carlist Rieekan, like Bail Organa, was an old Iranian who, by the birth of the Galactic Empire, was an experienced army officer of the Clone Wars. Rieekan outright rejected Emperor Palpatine's new order and immediately chose to return to serve the royal house of Alderaan as a civilian tactician. He was a founding member of the Alliance to Restore the Republic, becoming a military general, and was later given command of Echo Base on the outer rim planet of Hoth, until the Empire located it. Rieekan was another high priority for termination by Imperial intelligence. Yan Dodonna was another on the wanted list, who served both the Galactic Republic and the Galactic Empire. Dodonna had been a captain of a Star Destroyer in the last days of the Clone Wars for the Galactic Republic, and went on to serve the Galactic Empire until 1 BBY, when over time he became disillusioned with Palpatine's regime, and the aging Imperial officer eventually retired from service on ideological grounds. Dodonna was offered many times by Mon Mothma to join the Rebel Alliance, before finally, in the same year, he decided to join the rebellion and he became one of the first military generals. However, officials from the Imperial New Order Comp Nor, from Imperial Intelligence, decided Dodonna was potentially dangerous to the security of the Empire and ordered his assassination. He went on to lead the rebel victory against the Empire at the Battle of Yavin, but in the evacuation chaos, he was captured and imprisoned by the Empire in the notorious Lasankia facility on Coruscant until its liberation in 9 ABY. Borsk Fey'lya was a Bothan from the planet Korthis, who was an excellent political strategist. As the Galactic Empire took hold of the entire galaxy, he was eventually elected Chief Counselor of the Bothan Council. However, Fey'lya feared its anti-alien bias and joined the Bothan spy net, where he rose to a high rank and also became a prominent diplomat. In the years leading up to the Battle of Yavin, the Bothan helped the rebellion, and the Empire took notice of Fey'lya, designating him as a high-value target for observation or arrest as a suspected political advisor to the rebels. After the first Death Star was destroyed, Fey'lya eventually joined the Alliance to Restore the Republic. He led a significant group of Bothans who served primarily in reconnaissance and espionage. Fey'lya later became one of the most important figures in the Alliance. The adopted daughter of Bail Organa, Leia Amidala Skywalker as she was born, was a Force sensitive who grew up as Princess Leia Organa throughout the early reign of the Galactic Empire as a member of the royal family of Alderaan. She would later go on to become a politician and a revolutionary during her formative years. The youngest senator ever to be elected to the Imperial Senate at the age of 18, Leia Organa became a forceful personality and bright intellect. Like her adopted father, she naturally disliked the reign of Emperor Palpatine's Galactic Empire, and eventually supported her father's Alderaanian resistance movement, and later the Rebel Alliance. The Empire grew ever suspicious of her due to her ties to her father, and in 0 BBY, her ship Tantive 4 was captured by Darth Vader's Star Destroyer Devastator, and was arrested by Imperial forces. Vader believed she was a rebel agent who had stolen the plans of the Empire's superweapon, the Death Star. Originally an Imperial Army officer who led the notorious Storm Commandos of the Imperial military, Crix Madine defected to the Alliance to Restore the Republic after disagreeing with the release of a plague upon the citizens of the planet Dental, killing 10 million people. Although his defection cost him his fiancée Cario, she was a firm believer of the Empire's new order, and Madine became a valuable part of the rebellion, advising and leading commando operations. Imperial intelligence saw Crix Madine as a dangerous target for termination since his defection, given his knowledge of Imperial tactics and sensitive information. In 4 ABY, General Madine planned a successful commando raid on the second Death Star's shield generator. Madine continued to serve the New Republic. In 2023, I had the pleasure of meeting actor Dermot Crowley, who played Crix Madine in Return of the Jedi. For more Imperial Explained videos, please give a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Empire.